Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Opus Magnum. Let's continue. It's a new day, and frankly, I think pretty much all of these puzzles in one, not sitting per se, but one 12-hour period. So sleeping on it certainly might be helpful. We have one last puzzle, I think, for chapter 1, although it could be that we do this puzzle and it unlocks more puzzles. Oh dear, was it now? Apparently, Armand arranged for Frederick to go on a date with a young lady from another house. Oh dear. And now I have to make some machine oil. What? For the observatory, Frederick tried to take her there, but everything was rusted solid. Of course. Even better, Clara, the young lady, is from the house Soraya. So this definitely feels like we're going to solve this puzzle and then just move on to house Soraya. He was probably hoping to prove our observatory is just as good as theirs. Oh, she must have been tremendously impressed all around. Okay. So we have a different symbol now. So something has changed. Because they are looking for not gold, but tin. Which should be a little bit more efficient. Or instead of just always going up to the straight line. But we're also starting with lead to get to 10. And we also need water. Okay. And one assumes you always need 6 of these. There is not another item, I think. Not really. Like, I think we've already used this. This glyph of projection. And we'll need mercury. And mercury goes into this. And is this specifically only this metal? Lead? I mean, I guess we don't really have a choice anyways. It's not like we have anything else that we could make. We don't have 2 of these. We could have 2 of these. Alright. So what is the most efficient in size solution? Do something like this. Like, it probably is something as similar as just doing that, and then that. And there is a problem with this coding. I think that it takes no less than 4 lines of code to do basically anything. And I think you could pretty well establish this to pick up this one and put it here. But if you did do that, you're kind of getting in the way. And just gonna pan this whole screen. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you really have a limitation on the panning of any realistic size. Seems like you could scroll fairly largely in any direction. I imagine there is probably a hard limit, but not something to worry about. Don't we have to fuse these also? Yeah, I think we do. And if we're gonna have to fuse, then that means this gets into the party also. Are we going for area at this point, or are we going for something more? Honestly, it might be wiser simply to have this here, and then this here. Or not even that one, but this one here. Let's see if we can manipulate enough people and enough things. Pick this one up. Rotate twice in that direction. Reset. Number 2. No. We need it to start as quickly as possible, and number 2 to start as quickly as possible too. So pick up this and put it there. So this one rotates the wrong way, but at the same time that starts the process. And we may only need to do that once, actually. Because that gets exactly what we need. And so, in the meantime, if we're going for most efficient code, we didn't need to potentially have another one, just another arm, ready to grab. And I think at this point it probably should just be something like that. And then as soon as it does that, grab it, retract it, and then rotate it and reset at that point. I would need to be able to grab this one though, I think first. Which, arguably, maybe you don't even need an extension there. retract, retract twice. Drop. Rotate the other direction. Extend. Grab. Retract. Don't rotate. Drop. Maybe you don't even need to drop. Okay. So the race to the finish here now would be to see if we can possibly get this in and out of place before somebody made a mess of it. Repeat. Repeat. Yeah. That's not gonna work. But what might work is another one. Just waiting. So that can retract. You can grab, extend, drop, and possibly reset. Let's see how that plays. Okay. And see, I don't know if this one particularly even needs to drop. But in the process of that dropping, I would now like to just pivot this out of the way. And there's kind of not a good way to do that. Unless we make room for that. I can't kind of put that there either. And I can't have that expand there. I can have it here. Pivot. Maybe just drop in that area. Okay. Drop it here. And then when this drops, pick it up and pivot it twice in that direction. Three times in that direction. And then this one just needs to repeat. Got it. And so then once you pivoted it, you don't need to pick it up or drop it again. You just need to retract. And I'm not even sure you really need to even drop it. Some of this stuff I may have just forgotten since yesterday when I played last. But no, I think that is it. There's just some resets that need to happen. There we go. And that doesn't even add any spots. I might even be able to move this in some way to save some cycles. Well, what's going wrong here? Like, this reset instruction doesn't seem like it is actually following what it should be. Nor does I think it really matter. So let's get rid of that. Nope, that was not the right place to make a change. It's this one that doesn't have a reset instruction at the end of it. Okay. So if I was to, is there any way to potentially make this take up less space, because this is taking up way too much space, irritatingly. We'll try it this way. Nope. It has to be where it is, just to get the timing right. And see, that really does just get it in the right space in time. The only thing I think you could possibly do to speed things up is to just straight up have it reset again and repeat again. Instead of having a reset here, just have a reset here, a repeat here. And that saves you possibly a little bit of time, but then it possibly complicates the issue later. Yep. That totally complicates the issue. And the only way I could see that not complicating the issue is if you went for a level of efficiency by having this just start this way and miss, and then continuously repeat things. So by having like one part of the code skip the pattern, but even doing that doesn't seem like that helps. And again, that feels like you're just repeating code, trying for a crazy level of efficiency at the expense of everything else. See, I don't even know if 4 is necessary, come to think of it. Yeah, I don't think you need, I hate to do this, but I don't think you need 4 at all. I think what happens at the end of 2 well, 4 speeds it up in cycle though, because you could save some area here, get rid of 4 and have number 2 just pick up this and put it here later, but we're trying for efficiency, so we want something trying to move all in one cycle. And that kind of does feel like everything is moving at the right cycle until you get to this point where it's just resetting. Number 3 is just resetting. And then that seems to just kind of waste everybody's time. So, is there possibly a more efficient way to potentially push instead of pull? So this would be here, push, push. I mean, it seems like at the same time you would still just be moving things around. Could we get rid of a pivot? Instead of having 2 pivots, or 3 pivots. Is there an actual item here that would make more sense? I wonder about this unbinding item, come to think of it. Right. Does this just work? Let's just ask that question. Like, let's just solve it first and see where we are on the histograms and the leaderboards instead of stopping it. So we can see as far as the area, we are at the lowest number. As just like the smallest, this can be done as far as the histogram seems to want to show us. In the weird way these bar graphs work. It's not really how I would make a histogram work, and honestly, I don't think these bar graphs actually technically are histograms. We could make it a little bit cheaper, and I'm not sure I really care about that. But let's see. Let's copy and go back here. You could fairly obviously make it cheaper by getting rid of one component here and one component here and just making it a lot less efficient. So much so that it's not even really worth it. I could put, say, I imagine you can't put 3 things all in the same place, but I could certainly have this pick up this and get rid of this component potentially. And maybe I could just have one piston arm replace all 3 of these, saving you potentially 30 gold. I'm a little surprised that this is the least amount of area possible. Frankly, I don't actually believe that, because if I was to remove just one of these pistons, which I'm fairly certain I could do, I would have less area that it uses. Yeah. Just like one piston is with all you need to get rid of. And yeah. As far as efficiency, I honestly think all we need to do is, see, this one would be, instead of reset, drop, and then extend twice. And if I was to have this repeat again, I just need this. Was there any way to copy this? I'm gonna say control copy and then control V, and it doesn't work. So I'd have to redraw all of this. Extend, drop, reset. Not sure if a repeat is necessary there. Let's see. But see, you would have to wait for that, and you can't wait for that, so maybe do that. Yeah, you definitely don't need this repeat. Maybe you could do something crazy with tracks here. But I don't know if that really would help either. Yeah, The problem with this programming is it is just so positionally based that it really is just throwing my mind through a loop as far as just how kind of crazy it is. It's really not something I would expect to do. I wonder, honestly, if there wouldn't simply be a solution here. No, I don't see a real reason to add an arm here. This would just get in the way. Or an efficiency here to increase the speed at which these get filled. It's just as that one retracts, this one should also be retracting. But it doesn't. Yeah. I guess the real question is there some way that you could make this more efficient? Some other way? And I bet there is. I bet you could push too. As this one is ready to pick up and let's see. This one is ready to retract and drop here. You could be picking up one here, extending, and then dropping. Just doing twice the work. And that would mean that at that point, you don't have to wait those 2 steps. And you could have more repetition happening here and here. But then this line of code has to be copied to repeat its actions. And for efficiency's sake, I think you could probably just reset at those points. That ready and go. Of course, I think I'm not getting enough repeats for this one. Have enough spins there. I still would have to make 3 wait longer. I think another repeat there. Another spin there. And you're just bending over backwards to try and eliminate as much downtime as possible. And effectively all you're doing is just doubling your code, which is not efficient coding by any means. That's something a compiler will do later. Rotate at that point. I also need to extend, then drop and reset. Because this is effectively what a loop would do. Also, what went wrong there? This step took too long. Interesting. And see, that massively increased our cost. And our best cycles was 70 before, and now we've reduced it to 56, and the area went up higher. So, in this idea, if this was the only gimmick the game was going to offer to you, how do you speed this process up even more? Well, you know what you could do, since we're talking about code doubling. You can't change the number of reagents you have, and you can't change the product. So you can't change your inputs, you can't change your outputs. But there really isn't much from making much stopping you from making a Frankenstein's monster of this, where you potentially just need to be able to get this product here. So, could you potentially build a tract that had this spin all the way around? Yes, but you might have to bring it down one just for room. And if it spun all the way around and it grabbed the piece when nobody was looking, and and I'm just going to use this as an example and not actually make a final product here, say took this, the needed pieces, and merged them here, and it took this and used this. I mean, is that doable? If I can get the final product here, it is. So yeah. So with a lot of trial and error, you could have a piece that went from this point. You probably wouldn't need this square to put the final product this way. You could have several of these arms. Grab this, and it could do this and this fairly easily, fairly quickly. And then you could have it grab, let's see, which one do we need next? Grab that piece and put it there when nobody's looking. Nobody needs it. And you can have it grab that piece and put it there. And all of that could work, because if we step through these steps, in this first step, this gets grabbed, this gets grabbed, this gets grabbed. You step 2, all of the grabbed ones are gone. So all you would need to do is right now have 3 arms. Grab this one, bring it, and start down the process of bringing it down. Grab this one and bring it here, and grab this one and bring it here. However you move and locate all of that. As long as you are out of the way by the time not this step happens, but this step happens, and not even this step, it's actually the next step when they grab again. As long as you're out of the way by this point, you would be able to double the efficiency. And you might, in some of these puzzles, maybe not all of them, just go really, really crazy with it and have 2, 3, 4 of the same machines just doing the same thing. Theoretically, you could have 6 machines build one item and drop it into place, all in the same group of cycles. And maybe that is how in a previous level we saw a solution that looked like it was barely even like 5 steps. Like there might very well be a solution like that. Let's read the dialogue. Well, Frederick states at the observatory ought to go better now. Maybe he and Clara could have a do-over. I don't think it works like that. Do you see any other choices? For Clara's Soraya, I believe House Colvin has a young man around Frederick's age. Maybe that's what Armand is trying to prevent now. Quite likely. Pity he has only Frederick to work with. One can only play the game with the pieces one has. Alright. And so, apparently we have a special puzzle here, and it didn't unlock puzzles. Let's see. Number of cycles on this one's not particularly low. On this one's not particularly low. And this one's not particularly low. Nope. Nope. Maybe it wasn't cycles that was really low. Here we go. Airship fuel. You have a solution here in airship fuel, which looks like 5. It looks like literally just 5 solutions. Or 5 steps. How in the world would you get 5 steps out of that one? Like, if you have 3 of these, then you could cut it in half, but then you'd have to use twice as many movements. It seemed like there would basically have to be some level of insanity to all of this. Yeah. Just constantly, like, you can't even really do that. See, it would feel like you would want 3 of them instead of 2. Instead of, yeah. Take this, put that there. Yeah, this seems incredibly complicated, and I don't see really. I don't see how you would double up here. Like, theoretically, it seems like you would be able to do that. That you could build one pattern, one mechanism, and then maybe just drag all the way around here. But see, even if you did make one, Control C, Control V, it doesn't copy and it doesn't paste, so it wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. There might be a bit of a trick to this, in that if you rotated the pieces together, you might get a better connection or take up less room. But all you can do is rotate this 4-way connection. You can't change it, modify it. You could maybe, if there was some way to fill this automatically with items, you could then potentially unbind something if that was necessary, but I don't know if that is necessary either. So yeah, the question of the less than 5 cycles concept still doesn't seem like you could really solve it. Seeing that your transmutation engine in action is giving me fond memories of playing Sigmar's Garden. Sigmar's what? Oh good, so we're just gonna straight up do something completely different now, which we could definitely have used a break, so I can't hate this too much, but it does kind of feel like we're going to play some kind of puzzle that maybe is something close to Tetris or Match 3 or even Chinese checkers. Sigmar's what? You never played Sigmar's Garden? I thought everyone knew this game. You put a marble in the center in a certain pattern and marbles? Isn't that what these are? They're elemental proxies, glass spheres that represent various types of atoms. Little glass spheres are commonly known as marbles. We never call them marbles. To anyone who's not a highly trained alchemist, that's what they are. Now, why don't you give Sigmar's Garden a try? Fine, I suppose. Win one game to continue, optional. Well, it's really not giving me any answer or solution as to the pattern or what I'm supposed to do. Let's see, what can we derive from this, and why is it in this specific screen presentation? This feels a lot like the SHENZHEN I solitaire game, and that is just a mini game inside of a regular game. Yeah, we have two airs. We have Earth, we have Mercury, and I believe that's Mars, and I believe that might be Venus. We have a whole bunch of marbles. What does this button do? Okay. Your goal is to clear the board. You just have to find the instructions and click on it, I guess. Select a free marble, then pick a matching marble to remove both of them from the board. So, kind of like a marble puzzle removal game. A marble is only free if it has 3 contiguous empty spaces next to it. Okay. So this is locked. And this isn't a good example, actually. Because there's this marble should be missing, because that would still be not 3 contiguous or continuous spaces. But whatever. And lucky spaces off the board count as empty spaces. 4 cardinal elements match with others of their same type. Easy enough. Salt matches with any other of the cardinal elements or with itself. Vitae and Mors. Okay, I guess this is Vitae and this is Mors. Or vice versa. Only match with their opposite. And the metals match with Quicksilver, but only in the order of their transmutation from lead to gold. I mean, what does that mean? Really? Do they transmute into the next metal when you match? Or do you have to match this, then this, then this, then this, and this, and this? Seems if this mini game was specifically here to make us memorize this sequence, which is kind of the most important sequence that you do need to memorize, and maybe these two opposites, we probably should have had this mini game earlier. Alright, well, Earth and air, we can start here and here, and that matches, and I guess then that reveals more. So all of these marbles are on the field, they just are not free to deal with. Okay, we can figure that out, I guess. So this one will match with that one. This matches with that. And seems to just get rid of it. Fine. And this seems to then tell us how many remaining pieces are on the board. Unless we can drop these onto the board at some point. And this salt would just be an extra backup move. Well, this is gonna be very easy. Let's see. Or fairly easy. Right, when you click on these highlight your things, you can't drag on new pieces. Okay, and it seems like there is only one metal aspect of each, which that simplifies things too. Okay, so you take the salt on that one, so we can do that one, and then that, and that. And I assume that this is solvable, but I'm not 100% certain it actually is. Mercury doesn't go with mercury. And air and earth don't go together, and that don't go together. Doesn't seem like you have an undo button. And it does kind of feel like it is kind of randomized. So maybe the game throws you a bone. Maybe it doesn't. These don't match with each other. I think there is a fairly large chance of failure here, though, because yeah, it just seems like you could mess this up fairly easily. Yeah, once you get towards the center in particular, I feel like you can kind of easily mess things up, and you're gonna have to struggle to reveal options. Let's go ahead and do that one. Either I am playing this really poorly, or these are not always winnable. Either could be the case. Again, you have a choice here of nothing, so might as well play that. I think this is fairly much just randomized, and in that randomness, there is just a high chance of failure. Should we get things that are close to each other, or should we get rid of things that are far away from each other? There's just a lot of non-playable pieces, and it doesn't fully make sense to me, because 3 continuous non-touching pieces I mean, I guess this isn't touching 3. I guess this isn't touching 3. It really does mean there are going to be some edges that are going to be fairly special. Let's see, that move didn't do anything for me. That move didn't do anything for me. I have all of these extra salts, however, so hopefully these salts play. 3 continuous. This one has 2 here, this one has 2 here. Again, that seemed unwinnable. So I'm already to the point where I don't ever want to play this mini game again. A, it really doesn't have anything to do with programming. B, it's not fair. If they were running an algorithm to make sure they were winnable, that would be a different thing, but I'm fairly certain they are not doing that. And it really doesn't matter if it actually technically is fair. The perception of it not being fair is all that matters. And I guess if you just got to gold and gold won for you, I might have a different feeling around it. But that's not what's happening. I don't think. I think you have to actually clear the entirety of the board. Let's see. And see, I think I may just luck out here and win. Yeah, this piece can never be revealed until I get rid of this red piece here. And these extra pieces, I guess, on the edges will always be open, so you don't need to really worry about that. Yeah, not winnable. Absolutely, completely not winnable. This center piece, I guess, doesn't have anything in it, but it still takes up. It counts as a piece. But yeah, the gold piece is always going to be in the center. So this would have had to have been able to click on this to put the gold piece here. And then I would have needed another mercury, which seemingly doesn't even exist. So maybe the game is over at that point. Like, I don't even know how I would have had an extra mercury. And then to reveal this and interact with it, I would have had to have been able to get rid of this. And to get rid of this, I would have had to been able to get rid of this. So we need to be very careful about touching items. Yeah. And I definitely feel like This isn't something people would just get and understand. Now I'm going quiet because I want to really succeed here on the 5th attempt. Boy, is this just the absolute opposite of what the programming game as Magnum Opus has been. Opus Magnum has been up until this point. Just absolutely not what I want. Okay. We have every elemental. And red would be right here. Green is way in the middle, so we should get rid of the green one. Although we should have done that actually with this one. This is an air touching an air, so it kind of needs to go away. But then if it does go away, it just reveals another air. This is touching something. If these got rid of their own thing, that would work. But they don't. I need this, I guess, to reveal. Which one is the right move? If I get rid of this one and this one, it gives me a mercury. I can get to that. We can get to gold. And maybe that wins for us. Otherwise, I get rid of this one and it reveals nothing really, because I don't think this is touching 3 continuous empty spaces. Because I think this one is counted as a full space. I mean, let's just try it. This and this. And that gives us gold. And while that didn't immediately put a gold piece here in the center where I thought it would be, it did put a gold piece here. And gold, I guess, just matches with itself. Yeah, okay. It didn't really explain that to me well. And then there's just always going to be a salt in the middle that is locked. Okay. We got it done, and I got an achievement for that. Fun, isn't it? Absolutely not. That is awful. That's not at all how alchemy works. The cardinal elements, for example. It's just a little amusement, Anataeus. When we were children, we used to sneak in here and play it when the alchemists were away. What? You were totally unsupervised near the transmutation engine? We only use the marbles, Anataeus. Calm yourself. They're not marbles. They represent the fundamental building blocks of the universe. They're also little glass spheres. I'll flick one at you. Oh, stop it. You can't play with delicate equipment like this. They're far cheaper than the rest of your kit, you know, being that they are marbles. I'd still appreciate if you didn't treat them so casually. Well, we did it for years. Really had no idea about Sigmar's garden. Not at all. Why would the university bother to teach something so frivolous? Win 10 games to continue, optional. Oh, I don't think so. No. This is weird because what this feels like to me is they've given a kind of almost romance quest / relationship quest between Concordia, Liam, and Anataeus, but they want you to play 10 more games. Like, I don't even think I want to do that off screen. Let's just move on. That does not look interesting to me at all. Maybe in total we'll have to come back in other chapters and play Sigmar's Garden some more. I kind of would hope not. I'm also afraid that in the 5 remaining chapters they're going to give us 5 separate minigames that are just as bad. Unless there was something that unlocks there, some item that would make you more efficient. Which, if that is the case, that would really suck to hide it behind a side mini game that many people probably don't want to play. I knew what I was getting into when I started Opus Magnum. I did not know about the marble game, though, and I find it off-putting to say the least. Alright, Health Tonic. Do you know exactly how old Armand is? Both he and the lady are rather advanced in age, and Frederick is the only possible heir. As Armand's only surviving grandson, he would be difficult to oppose. There are some other claimants from distant branches of the family, but they're weak. What brought this on? Promise not to tell anyone, but I was asked to make a tonic to assist in regulating an irregular heartbeat. Oh, Armand, hopefully he's setting up everything for an orderly succession of power after he's gone. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I do intend to keep him healthy. And these puzzles you have to solve, so I would not blame anybody at all for rage quitting if they could not solve these puzzles. We are getting fairly crazy at this point, where we're being given just default groups of elements. And see, this definitely feels like this is just gonna be straight up a simplistic solution. Well, this isn't right because this isn't merged, but I would like to see if it works nonetheless. Pick up this part, retract, and then reset is all number 1 has to do. And then number 2 is going to pick up and rotate and reset. And then this one is going to pick up. Hopefully at that point it can rotate the other direction and reset. And let's see how that works. We need a little bit more buffer. Alright, so far so good. But we can see that it doesn't work unless it is actually merged. So that one and that one overlaps that. But once you have such an awkward position for this, how do you deliver it? That's the question. If this was put here, it would then need to be rotated. Which pretty much means this has to be something closer to that. This could extend another step, and this could extend another step, and that could give us a little bit more room. Yeah, this definitely feels more complicated than you would expect it to be. They're stepping up their game. Alright. Pick it up. Pivot it. Extend and pivot. And let's see what happens there. Nope. It's not gonna work. I kind of do feel like I'm at this resolution potentially just going to end up wasting a lot of space, and there's not really a way to zoom out. Yeah, at such a far extended distance, you're not going to be able to pull that off. But if this is here, and this is here, that can rotate out in that direction. Okay. So, from that perspective, that works. Okay. And see, that is just like the weirdest part about all of this coding, is that it's just how much of it is so incredibly positional. Yeah, but it's not actually that we have to do. We actually have to put another one here. So it's not really a repeat. At that point it is pick up, then rotate twice, then reset. Okay. And then this reset's not anywhere close to being ready. Okay. Rotate this again and see if this is in the right position. Is there any possibility this would use less area? I mean, possible. It does like seem somewhat possible that you could possibly have this so it swung in such a weird angle one way and matched, and then swung another way and somehow managed to not hit anything while it was swinging. What this does kind of tell me though is that 4 atom connections is probably the close to the max. We may get 5 or 6. We may even get a full-on like helix or double helix, but I don't think we're going to get much further than that. And so, yeah, I might be using a couple extra squares as far as area. But yeah, I don't even think there's too much here I would want to change or try and change. Yeah, it's because I think this would just confuse the issue too much in any other way. That the only thing I could think maybe you could do is something like that, where you swung backwards instead of forwards at this point and used less area, but see how that works. So it'd just be less area, more steps. Mess this up. Yeah, there is a fairly consistent issue here where it's just too easy to confuse what track 1 is versus what track 2 is. Yeah, and see, that wouldn't even work because as soon as we tried to spin this a different direction, it's gonna crash. Well, it didn't crash. But I don't know if that area is any smaller, honestly. Our best was 26, that was 27. Yeah, I don't know how you take up less room. It feels like the trick would just involve a lot of shenanigans, a lot of moving things around, or attempting to move things around as fast as possible. Let's see. That was here. This was here. Then that was there. We need these two pieces. Like that. So then we would need that one. And that one. And the crazy thing here is you probably could eliminate the code in a funny way. You could eliminate probably this piece here totally, and then I don't think I'm gonna particularly try and solve it this way. Drop. And then extend. Let's see. At that level, could I get this to grab a piece? Kind of crazy to do it this way. But I can't actually get this piece to go here any other way. But I do suspect you potentially could get rid of this piece and take up less space. And you could potentially have this grab piece like here. And then spin it around. So take a piece here, spin, grab this at some level, rotate and pivot it into the right place, and then maybe rotate and pivot it again so it is sitting where it needs to be, and then have your final drop be somewhere along this level. That does seem doable, but it also seems like a crazy waste of time. Let's just read the dialogue and move forward. At this point, particularly after playing Sigmund's Garden once and struggling with that to win once, I'm not sure I care about cycles, which has been the only one that I really feel like I care in the first place, because area does not really mean anything to me as a programmer, and cost doesn't really mean anything to me as a programmer. There, that should do it. One healthy-ish patriarch for the House of Van Tassen as ordered. Long live the patriarch Armand. Yeah, long live, I guess. You don't seem particularly enthusiastic. I don't think it's good if he stays alive. After all, he pays for everything around here. You do well to show a little more appreciation for your house. I do think it's good if he stays alive. After all, he pays for everything around here, is what he said. Misread that. So I guess that does mean each of these squares is a puzzle. So, yeah, we did all the puzzles here. So there is one final puzzle after this. Let's see, a little boost stamina potion is at the necessary time. What are you on about? A little boost at the necessary times is how he put it. Who put what? Armand is worried about Frederick. Rightly so, I would say. Particularly wonders if Frederick will be able to produce an heir. I'm to make him a potion that will give him a boost at the necessary time. I get it. That's not so unusual, really. Stamina potions have long been used for such purposes. It's not making it that's the issue for me. It's thinking about it. You should know better than to use your imagination in cases like this. Alright, so, yeah, do you really need stamina if you want to produce an heir as much as you need fertility? Wouldn't it be a fertility potion? Although maybe their understanding of medical science is lackluster, considering this is a universe with alchemy in it. I mean, if alchemy was a real science and something we could do, we almost certainly would have been very slow to introduce the idea of computers or other technologies. One always works within their limitations, and had we something better than computer and technology that we have at the moment, then we would have easily never bothered to design or create things. For instance, if electricity never existed, but instead everything just ran without a need for batteries or electricity, we would never invent batteries. Alright, well, this seems like it's kind of fairly obvious how this is going to end up. And at a certain point, I almost want to just put the final solution far off the map. But for balance reasons, we'll start here. And we're going to have to work to creating a metal. I don't think we actually need 2 of these. So, can we pull this, push this forward, pull it back, and do more with it? Maybe. How do we get the other one, though, way where we want it? That's gonna be the tough call. I think at that point, that is probably where we're gonna probably put the solution there. Pivot the whole thing out. And for pivoting that way, is there a faster solution for getting these in place? Yeah. I don't know if there really is. Alright, we'll drag 4 to be 1. We'll grab, rotate, and reset. That's all it probably needs to do. We'll grab the now new 4 to be number 2. And we'll grab and rotate, I guess. And then reset. And then we'll switch 4 and 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 for convenience sake. And while that is happening, I kind of feel like, for efficiency's sake, probably should just do this. Put that there. I'm hearing some weird sound effects. That's in the music, it's just somebody's playing a xylophone. That's weird. Totally not expecting that sound. Alright, well. Grab. Retract. And rotate. Meanwhile, number one can just repeat. There's no reason to retract here. We can start here. Grab, rotate. And see, for some efficiency, we probably would have two arms picking up the mercury, just feeding the armor, the mercury. And where are we? Is this strip gold, or did I go one too far? I think I went one too far. Yeah, let's keep this over here for the time being, just so we can see it. Yeah, we're running into some fairly large problems with the visibility. Nope. The resolution is an issue. Actually, I'm doing it way too much. Yeah, that did seem weird. Yeah, that's as much as it needs to do. So just repeat it twice. Meanwhile, 3 can grab and extend. Grab. What happened here? See if that works. Okay. So we fused half of it. Now what? How do we get that whole second part to fuse together in any form? I think I probably have to rotate extend, release. You now pivot and extend first. You reset and grab. Gotta pivot before you extend. Nope. There's basically no way that pivots or extends as long as this piece is here, which is not too big of a deal, really. Because it's not like we don't have room. So we would need another pivot, and then we would need a pivot and hope that we can get this where we need to get it. Reset. Grab. Extend. Pivot the other way. You're going to pivot that way. You're going to rotate that way. Let's see if this all works. I bet it doesn't. I really think I probably will have to grab it here and not from the center to get it to pivot in the right places. Pivots. And another extend. You really wish you could just like click something here to say start from here and from this snapshot from this point. Of course, in all fairness, that is something that you kind of would like to see also happen in regular programming quite a lot. Do I really need this piece at all? Or could this just be this? I mean, does anything really change at that point? No? That might make things easier. See if this rotated so it was there. know if that could reach that. I don't think it could. I've got to really learn how to use these tracks, I think. I don't think they're optional. But there's like no straight connection there either. Yeah, and I feel like my brain's already turning to mush, and it's only been 1 2-hour episode today. It's just like, I know I can solve this, but it really does feel like this has gotten unnecessarily complicated, and I really question what the next 4 chapters are all about. Yeah, it's not exactly what it needs to be. What it needs to be is it needs to be rotated. Let's see how this works. This probably won't work. That rotation, another combiner here, and maybe something here. Yeah, but then how do I get it? Yeah, it's spinning the wrong direction, and if it's spun the other direction, is it can I do this? If I was to simply let go at this point, can I just bump things? If you can actually bump things though, I'm still not sure I fully get it. Yeah, that just swung wildly out of place too. I really do think there might just be more value in that. If this went up, it would go here. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't see even why this is making this so much more difficult. Just get this. To something like that. And then get this. Doesn't even really work. You'd have to have your own little spot here. Grab, extend here. Grab. Place. Well, number 3. Grab, extend once. Reset. Grab. Move towards plus multiple times. Let's see how that works. Don't even worry about that for the moment. Hmm. Grab. Might as well start with the rotating. But even if you did do this, you're just going to create a problem later. I wish you could just, you didn't have to bond things, really. That's where it gets frustrating. I think more than anything is that if I didn't have to bond things and I just had to put chemicals in the place they're supposed to be, see, this might be a space efficient way of getting it where it needs to be. The question is just, how do you get the merge? Here and here. And then if we just had a three-way linear connector, let's see. I think redrawing this is going to be kind of a nightmare too. Okay. Grab, extend, reset. Then grab and move towards the pluses. And put the other one. That could do that, certainly. And this can't really hit that, though. This can hit that one. Okay. Can this one hit this? No. Can it hit this? Yes. So if you start, it would pick up, rotate in the other direction, wait a bunch of turns, then extend, extend. At that point, a pivot, 2 pivots may be all that's necessary, actually. May have this. I may have stumbled into the right solution. And this would just be a matter of speeding up this process, which I'm not sure how we'll deal with that, but let's deal with that later. May mean this whole track is not necessary, and it may mean that this is probably not necessary. Okay. Grab, extend. Does it even need to drop? It's an interesting question. Grab, extend. It does need to drop the mercury. It doesn't need to drop the other one. Grab, extend, reset. No, they have this backwards. So maybe it doesn't need to actually drop. No, but that's, had that backwards for a reason. So drop is necessary. Yes. That. Then that. Yeah. Tract and reset. We'll go for efficiency later. It's this one that you need to retract and reset. And I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to dump all this code and simply put a repeat here. Then we just need a little bit more buffer. A little bit more buffer. Got it. Then number 1 at that point doesn't need to reset. It needs to retract and then reset. It's a lot of dead air here, which arguably we don't need to probably do. I've got it. So, stop, get rid of the track. Recenter, Oddly, this may be the most efficient space usage. Three. Yeah, I think this is the most efficient space usage. And as far as, and that's an area of 30. As far as code, like maybe you could take this and reduce it by 1 and see if that changes anything. Yeah, it doesn't. Maybe that means you could then reduce this by 1. Same thing. Okay. So maybe then you could reduce this by 1, 2, or 1 also. Nope. If you do that, it doesn't give you enough time to get the right shape. It's interesting how the symbols always stay upright even if you rotate it. Alright. So we've got a solution of an area of 30. So if we get a histogram here that says, oh, there's a solution of an area of like 15, 20, something like that, again, that would feel fairly cheap and cheatery. And yeah, once again, somebody has cheated here. Like, there's just no way you're going to have an area of, if this is 50, then you'd have to assume it's 40, 30, 20, or 10. Like, there's no way you're going to have an area that's half as small as that. Cost, maybe you could reduce the cost a little bit, but I don't see by much. Somehow somebody has figured out how to get a really low number though, and cycles. Yeah, I don't know as far as cycles how you would speed this up too much. You can obviously at a point here reduce the amount of time in which things are just not being done. I also would like to know, like here, if 3 decides to put a Mercury and there's just nothing there, I mean, that can buy yourself some time, certainly. And while it is doing that, you could certainly spend some more money and have, or pick up another one and put it here. Just right about there. Extend and reset. So yeah, you could certainly have this one repeat again. And then on number 1, once it resets, you could then grab and extend to, and again, this is just going to be an example of the code going fairly crazy. Just to kind of like double up the efficiency and reduce very small points at which efficiency could be reduced. Let's see. Just retract again and get rid of that code. Put that right next to it. Got to drop. And see, at that point it would just be a matter of pivoting and pivoting again. And honestly, I think all you really are doing is probably just would have to just copy the code over and over again. There, it messed it up, but or you could simply change the starting position here on this one and move the point where it grabs it, get rid of the code there, get rid of that much code, that code, and that code, and just put a reset. And then we could put that code there instead. This to copy. We can move that a couple steps earlier. Moved a little too fast. See, I don't know if this actually needs to repeat or if this actually needs to repeat at all. This is not better code by any means, though. Yeah, and this is, again, not worth the time. 2 hours and 20 minutes into this episode. Why did that not pivot all the way it should? Probably because this needs one more pre-step, I would guess. Nope. It's actually because this needs to occur quicker. But it can't occur quicker. Yeah, is there an argument to putting another thing here that would grab it and push it down while this one came back and grabbed another thing? If there was an argument for that, it would really overcomplicate things. Let's see if that fixed it, but no, I don't think it did. And see, now I'm just kind of dragging things out of the way. Why is this repeat not working? Is my real question. Comes down there, grabs that, it goes here, rotates, rotates, should rotate again. And the only thing I think that would save me is at this point 2 should have already done something, and 2 hasn't done it. It doesn't have enough time to have done it. Which does really make the argument that and I'm not even going to bother to program this, feels like what you'd have to do is something like this to swing into place, or instead of 2 being an extension at all, you make a track. And you take 2 and replace it there. Then you take 2 and replace it there. That way we keep the code for the most part. Although I'm not sure if I really needed the code kept. Plus, reset. Repeat. Repeat. Put a gap. Put a gap. That, regardless, would be cheaper. Hmm. And then it would just be a matter of, in the effort to gain efficiency, redoing the code so that everything is ready to go at this point, where it should be able, number one should be able to grab it and be ready for the next step. If that was the case, we need another repeat here. I think another repeat here. I think 3 is doing everything it needs to do. It is just going to be a matter of bumping everything. It needs to get out of the way quicker. Well, one way we could save time is getting rid of... No, that wasn't the code that we needed to get rid of. It's number 2's code. Well, I feel like... Let's see what happens here. Nope, if you were gonna do something like that, you would have to almost make a circle for it and go in circles. And yeah, I guess you could do that if you wanted to and make a little conveyor belt. But you kind of need to get the item fairly quickly gone if you were going to do that. See. Yeah, maybe you could save a couple of steps, but it's not like you're saving a couple of steps that aren't having something else actively moving in that same step. Two just needs to reset. needs more time to reset and get out of the way. When it's doing its next thing, which that is, like, this one is late, and so maybe that's why it's still in the way. It's still late. And this one needs a bit of a delay. Not actually there though, as much as I think it just needs a space in its rotation. And I don't know if adding a delay in your code at any point is actually wise. Yeah, it just feels like you need yet another delay. And then at a certain point, the question does certainly become, are adding delays really making your code any more efficient? Like, how could you possibly be making your code more efficient by adding a delay? That seems kind of crazy. And frankly, just spending this much time on the puzzles is crazy. Alright. And then the rest of the dialogue is, I hope Frederick enjoys that potion, ugh. Armand must believe Frederick's marriage is close at hand. Really, really? Will it be the young lady of House Soraya? I was just speculating. How exciting. The city will celebrate for days. The union of House Van Tassen and House Soraya. Maybe this is the way we're going to end up in a different location. As provisioner, you have a lot of work. You'd have a lot of work to do. Yes, but it would be for a wedding. It would be quite fun. You arranged a party in the streets. I arranged a party in the sheets. Oh dear. Yes, well. And then we have a final puzzle here called an active aggression, which definitely does not feel like chapter 1 is ending in a marriage. If it is, it's going to be something like the Red Wedding instead. Murdering people. I'm going to do a little research as far as Sigmar's Garden. If there really is something that unlocks here by playing more of this, I'm going to play it off screen, because frankly, it's just not going to be entertaining, and I'm not going to have anything nice to say about this game. It's not good. We are running into a problem that often we run into as far as programming games. I just need to stop fiddling around with these puzzles and just solve them once and just be done with them. I don't feel like there's a good chance I'm going to want to go back and do any of these puzzles to try and get any kind of achievement or anything. Even if there was an achievement to it, I just don't think there's a real chance there. Going back to something like this, we have just a minimal number of items, and some of which are limited more than normal. You kind of can see there's not likely too much going on here as far as the puzzle. This. Hit that. Hit that. Like, maybe we could do something here that is slightly more interesting to speed this process up. But I don't think you can really do too much. Here. And here. And meanwhile, one picks up here and then drops down there, because these arms can't go that far. And let's see, plus and drop plus. See how that works. These would be negatives. Let's see, by the time you repeat that, there should be another one ready to go. This one here. You should be able to go negative here and then grab one, negative, drop, negative. See how that works. Not quite as efficient as maybe you would like it to be, and I think you probably could speed up this process a little bit more. Just how many of these can you really get going? I imagine you could probably have like 6 ready to go, lined up, just ready to pick up the the next thing. This one, then this one, this. But I don't really feel like, even though we maybe have learned just a few new tricks, that you're really doing anything particularly new and interesting there. Like my next step would be to start with something like this and just double up. And that way, so you can't even really have more than 6 lines of code. Yeah, unless this game was gonna throw something like functions into this, you're incredibly limited in your optimization, for lack of a better term, and particularly at this lower resolution. You get one there, it grabs it, it takes it out. Number 2 should, at this point, be grabbing it. Control boxes, apparently. Maybe you don't need this. Alright, so at this point you would need yet another one ready to go. Let's see. 8. And 9. Honestly, I should just add enough room for another one. So there's a 6. There we go. Yeah, and you just can't have this kind of code. It just doesn't work. This is the problem with horizontal versus vertical code. Anyways. Let's see, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Again. Here's one. Here's one. And here's one. And then I would guess you probably don't want to do one there. Do that. Do that. And then drop. And see, I don't know if the 1, 2 at the end even matter so much as far as the negative. So we'll just leave that off. Instead, we'll draw this visual pattern, which doesn't really mean anything to me. You probably do need the 1, 2 at the end. And you probably need even more than the 1, 2 at the end. You probably need to just constantly have them cycle out of the way. 0 square 0. 0 minus 0. This is just overflowing with way too much. Right. Do they all need to move? Yeah. Might just be they all need to move. If they don't move at once, then they'll seemingly crash. Or it could just be that there needs to be an extra spot. It could be that there just needs to be an extra spot. These are also all out of order. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably doesn't need 2 extra spots, but whatever. Which probably means these are not necessary. Then that one's missing 1. Why is 3 and 4 crashing? Four and 3 are crashing. Because of why? Wouldn't it be more logical just to put a reset here? No, because reset then sets it back to where you were. So if you were going to use a conveyor belt, you absolutely cannot use a reset. So then that does mean you have to basically fill in this entire wall of moves behind it just to get it to get out of the way. Just a ridiculously large amount of code just to create a simplistic conveyor belt, which if you were typing in words and doing something that was the equivalent of a conveyor belt, you would definitely not do it this way. You wouldn't have pictures, first of all, but you also wouldn't just effectively write the same code and the same command over and over again. Somebody here is messing up. Because this is like out of order. Like, why is this like this instead of this being like this? Yeah. I think I've kind of totally lost the plot here. And while there is the beginning of an idea, I think I've managed to confuse myself enough. Enough that I don't think I can figure this out. Okay. That was 3. And then let's see which ones collided, because we had that kind of working. We have 1 colliding with 6. Which maybe means 6 needs to move faster. Or 5 needs to move faster. Or 4 needs to move faster. Or 3 needs to move faster. Yep. I think we can tell what's happening here. Yeah, I'm gonna risk just adding minuses all here. Nope, I don't want to spend any more time trying to debug this. At the end of the day, would that really have gotten me less than 35 cycles? I don't think so. Like, because maybe, like, when you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Maybe that is just the way you get down to a certain number of cycles, is that you have to create something that is super efficient. And I'm loosely using the phrase efficient here because I arguably don't believe it really is efficient to write code like this. It may reduce the number of processing cycles, but if the amount of code you have to write is 2 or 3 times as much, that means you have to have 2 or 3 times as much RAM. That is part of the problem with the RAM bloat in computers these days. This code, in comparison, way more efficient. In fact, just really a thing of beauty, if I don't say so myself. And yet, it's not particularly cheap. It's not the lowest in cycles, and it's not the lowest in the area. Is there something I could do here to reduce the area? Well, what you would want to do, probably, let's see if we were to make a copy of this, is drag this way like this, put this here, rotate and reset, put that there. But does that really save any area? Let's see. See, and that reduced the cost, but it didn't reduce the cost anywhere as low as, it's not to the lowest, nor did it help with the number of cycles, which you really can't even go for that goal if you're trying to get lower costs, nor did it really edit the area. See, I just don't understand the area concept in general. I guess what you would do is probably this. And then write a fairly ridiculous a bit of code here. Let's see. If we were to take 1 and put it here, and then once you made this merge thing, so you do here, then you would potentially rotate it this way. And then potentially rotate it that way. Is there any way to stop this from taking up that one extra space? You could do this, you could do this. If we took one, put it here. This is probably what this is. Is take one, put it here. Take one, put it here. So pick it up, put it here. Pick another one up, put it here. Rotate it so then it hits this point. And then when you if you rotated it another time, it would hit that, and if you rotated it that way, it would hit that. But I guess you could extend it and then you could use the least amount of space there. But are there any rewards for doing any of this? Or am I simply just wasting my time and making a 3-hour-long episode, which I really need to stop at this point? Yeah. Then there's high danger, certainly, of getting stuck and just mentally getting obsessed. Let's see if that works. Rotation's the wrong direction. That was a little unexpected, but not terrible. If anything, that's more efficient. Yeah, I can't imagine that there's a way to make this use less area. There's not a single square that's not being used here. And I guess that is the way you get a low area. So maybe these are not always cheaters. And there might even be little hints in the histograms here that if you see a cycle that takes 76 steps, that probably is because it's a small area. Cost-wise, though, yeah, if you were going to reduce the cost on this, I don't know how. Like, the tracks themselves seem to only cost 5G. Let me ask this question. If I add, right now it's at 65 gold. For every bit of track you add, 5 more gold. So you could potentially save 10, but then by adding even 2 parts of a tract, which at minimum you're going to need that, you gain that 10 back, or I guess in this case you're saving 20 because this is 40 and this is 20, which, okay, so then that would save you maybe something, but maybe not, because you would have to go this far and you would have to put a gripper, and as soon as you have a second gripper you're not actually saving any money. So my only assumption is that you would replace this piston arm with this to save 20 gold, and then put this and this all the way around in a circle and just let it rotate and spend a lot of area. So 7 area, 60 gold. This one we'll just leave alone for cycles. And this would be, I suppose, your target puzzle, stabilize water, as the first puzzle to try and get the black bar down to the best and the best and the best. And if you did all of that, which that was my hope originally, was to be able to do the best on a very early tutorial in each of the histograms, just to see if there's an achievement around that or if there is any kind of reward around that. It doesn't seem like there would be a reward. Meanwhile, once again I'm just wasting time. Although actually, this is actually a visual novel thing, isn't it? There's no way to exit this. You just have to click through all of it. So, at the risk of making this too long, I'm not going to click on this, but clearly we would just get a visual novel chapter wrap up here and not probably a puzzle, which means next time we will start on chapter 2, and I really just need to gain momentum and burn through these. Hopefully chapter 2 starts to give us some kind of optimization, something that makes this make more sense. Functions is what we really need more than anything else. If I can establish a function and then call upon that function, even if the function doesn't have any like variables or arguments or what they're called that you can pass, even if it is just this lets you compress code that is dumb code and will do the same thing over and over again, that would save a lot of repetition, which is what we're running into more than anything. Regardless, it's been 3 hours. We've got to stop here. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.